So let's talk door hangers here, because when it comes to promoting your lawn care company in a fairly low cost way, you really cannot beat door hangers. Just because of how low the cost is compared to something like Facebook ads or Google ads, where the price just continues to climb, you can still run door hangers for a fairly inexpensive cost and get it out to a large number of homeowners and property owners. The problem we run into with door hangers, though, and I see this a lot when I'm looking at door hangers companies are running, or just as I'm looking at designs that people are experimenting with, is that oftentimes the emotion is lost in a door hanger. And I don't want to get too deep with this whole conversation here, talking about emotions and things like that. But when we think about marketing and sales, emotions play a huge role in getting somebody to take action. And when it comes to a door hanger, we often lose those emotions because we're trying to talk to such a huge group of people. We don't really know their pain points. We don't really understand what those exact things are that's going to get somebody to take action now. So oftentimes a door hanger looks like this. You talk about your services, you give them a phone number to call, you may have some nice stock photos on there, but other than that, there's really nothing else on there that's separating you from everybody else on the market. So what we ultimately want to do by the end of this video, and I've got 5 different things that you can work from in this video, is get to something like this, where it's still broad and works for a large group of people, but you're using more creative wording. You're using your project photos that you've done to get people thinking about what are the possibilities of working with you, to get people excited and saying, yes, I want to work with this company because I believe they can give me a better lawn than my current provider. You want to get people excited, and that's what's going to get people to pick up the phone and call you, to text you, and that's what's going to get you some more leads. So let's talk through these 5 things here and start thinking through, okay, where can I improve my door hanger to get more results? The first step to figuring out your door hangers, to creating door hangers that generate leads, is understanding the problem. Because one of the things, and really the primary thing is in marketing, is how do you position yourself as the solution to the problem they are experiencing? So once we figure out the problem, once we figure out, okay, how are we going to position ourselves where when somebody sees this door hanger, they are like, yes, you are the solution, I need to work with you. That's what we're trying to figure out. So we first need to understand the problem, because that's going to dictate the entire strategy of our door hanger. And there are really 3 common problems. And there may be more, but we're just going to run with 3 as this example. And I'm going to fast forward myself here. So the first is going to be, I hate my lawn. Right? So if they hate their lawn, if they are unhappy with how it looks, it has brown spots, maybe their shrubs are dying because they aren't properly getting watered, or the current provider isn't maintaining this stuff or checking on this stuff, that right there is a very common problem that people have. They are unhappy with the current status, the current quality of the work being done. And this leads right into the second point. I dislike my current provider. So somewhere along the way of working with the company that they work with currently, they're unhappy with them. Maybe they aren't professional, they don't show up on time, they leave the gate open. Something in that relationship is not working out. And that will, of course, position you or give you an opening to potentially, within your door hanger. Now, it's tough to know which homeowners are unhappy with their provider or not, but the point here is to highlight some examples of what problems some people can have, and then you can integrate that into the messaging of your door hanger. The third piece here is, I just moved in and I don't have a current provider. Okay, so all 3 of these will have different points that you can hit on to position yourself as the solution. If it's, I hate my lawn, when we talk later on here about how you position yourself, you can use your door hanger to touch on the things that they want resolved. They don't like the look of their lawn. They want to be the best lawn in the neighborhood. Like these kind of things, these pain points, these things that you can use to align yourself with their struggles, these are what you're going to put on your door hanger to get them excited about working with you. For I hate my current provider, when we start talking about imagery, a great way to do this is having pictures of your team fully uniformed, working on the property. You can use different elements of the door hanger to communicate a story and again, position yourself as the company that they need to hire to avoid all of this mess, to get around this disaster that they are currently facing. And yet, yes, as we talked about earlier, door hangers are broad. You're not really going to understand who currently hates their company, but you can use signs, and that's the big thing. If they hate their lawn, there are signs. Maybe their lawn just has not been maintained recently. Maybe it has brown spots. Maybe you notice some of their plants are struggling. Like, these are signs that there is a disconnect within that relationship between them, the homeowner, and their current lawn care provider that may have an opening ready for you where you can jump in here, leave a door hanger on their door that says something like "Love your lawn again," and this is something I want to talk about here in just a second, where you can position yourself as the company to resolve their problems. And then as far as like messaging when it comes to just moved in, the big thing is there's a lot of stress that comes with just moving in. And you can look for homes that say sold or that were recently purchased, and you can go to those homes and leave a door hanger custom to people who just moved in. Maybe it's like a welcome to the neighborhood. And for something like this, the way that you want to position yourself is the no-hassle, trusted lawn care provider in the area, because they are going through a lot of stress right now, trying to move everything into that new home, trying to get settled in, and they don't want to deal with a lawn care company that's going to cause more stress, more hassle on top of that. So when we talk about imagery, when we talk about social proof, that right there is how you position yourself. You position yourself as a trusted company, a no-hassle company where you just sign up and we'll handle everything for you. You utilize imagery to show them the quality work that you do, and you use testimonials to show that their neighbors love you as well. Like, that is the kind of stuff where when we understand the message, when we understand the problem that they are facing, we can use door hangers to touch directly on that problem. Again, the challenge with door hangers is because it's broad and we don't know exactly what they're facing. We can't always hit the nail on the head, but we can use signs, as I was talking about. If they hate their lawn, there's a good chance maybe their lawn just doesn't look good on the surface, or from as far as like the curb appeal, it doesn't look great. So that would be a good indication to put this door hanger out. If the home has a sold sign in front of it, it would be a good idea to put a welcome to the neighborhood sign on it. That's kind of a welcome to the neighborhood door hanger on it. These are kind of the ideas. Now, as far as once we have the messaging down, once we understand that, putting hey, we do lawn care, we do lawn mowing, and talk about the services you have, and then just saying, call us on it. Once we have an understanding that those are not the best performing door hangers, and we have the messaging down, now we can look at the imagery. And the imagery is incredibly important because it tells a story. You only have so much space on the door hanger front and the door hanger rear to have written text on it. And a lot of people will skim your door hanger. They're not going to read a ton of text. They're going to glance at it, find the important points, and make that quick decision of whether you are worth contacting or not. So imagery is great. And again, once we understand the problem, we can use imagery to communicate a story around one of these three problems. So if they hate their lawn, you have pictures of projects you've done. Avoid stock photos. Stock photos, while they look good on the surface, they don't communicate the message that you're looking for. And ultimately, people can spot a stock photo from a mile away. And if you are using stock photos, be very careful of using a photo of a property that does not correlate with the area that you're located in. So say, for example, I'm located in Texas. If I use a home from Florida, the coastal area of Florida, or Montana, there's a disconnect. Like, the home does not look like their area. So, you don't have that immediate connection that's going to get them, hey, you serve my area, you serve my neighbors. There's going to be a disconnect there. So I highly encourage you, if you don't have photos, start taking these photos. They don't have to be perfect. Because again, the thing that people are looking for when you have photos on your door hangers is, can you do good work for me? Can I trust you? Do other people trust you? And once you can use these photos, you can communicate the story of quality, trust, And, going back to talking about emotion, you can get people excited about what's possible when it comes to working with you. You can show them the projects that you've done rather than just telling them and hoping that they believe you. So photos are incredible, an incredible tool, not just on door hangers, but in any of your marketing. I come from a website background. I design websites, and photos are like the number one thing that you need on your website. Real photos, to be very clear. So you can use these photos to communicate quality so that people can see the quality of the lawns that you create, but also say they hate their current provider or you just moved in, you can communicate trust and ease of use. So professionalism, showing up on time. It's tough to communicate that in an image, but you understand the idea. So once we've done these things, once we've figured out the messaging, we've got the imagery down, now it's time to start thinking about how do we get people to take action here. And one thing before we do move on here is social proof. I do want to touch on this real fast. Social proof, again, incredibly important, because right now you are asking them to trust you based on your word, based on we'll say the business owner's word. And that's tough because you're a little biased. So that's where social proof comes into play. Have some kind of testimonial, have some kind of trusted by, we'll say 350 homeowners in the area. Use social proof elements like that, and pictures do play a role in this as well. Have a testimonial or two somewhere on your door hanger showing people what other people say about you, because that's really important. Because then you bring other perspectives into it, and maybe even when you have that testimonial, you can put the neighborhood that they're located in, because then you create that connection of they're only 3 minutes from my house where I live. And then you create that connection, you show that you're actually working with other people near them, and that's very important. So once we've got those things down, then we start thinking about, okay, how do we actually capture the lead here? So when we start thinking about this, we have to remember two things. One, how do we get somebody to take action now? And two, how do we make it easier for them to take action? So the first thing, creating urgency. When we are thinking about creating urgency, we want to make sure that there is no risk of them seeing this door hanger saying, yes, I want to work with this company, but I just don't have time right now. I'll get back to them later. Because between now and when they say they plan on getting back to you, there is a whole lot of risk of distractions, and there's a very good chance that somehow they get pulled away from that initial goal of reaching out to you, and they never do. So then you don't get the lead. But then there's also the element of, I'll just take care of this later. There's no big rush. The company will still be here when I'm ready. And we want them not to think about this, not to think about it that way. We want them to say, ooh, I love this company. I need to get in touch with them. So oftentimes the best way to create urgency is some kind of deal. Some kind of way where it's if you don't reach out to us in 24 hours, you're going to miss out and you're going to be paying full price or something like that. There are different ways of creating urgency, but the most popular way is to give them some kind of special. And one thing that you can do this really effectively is, say, for example, mowing. You may be able to give them a price right when you put this door hanger on their door. Do a quick inspection of their property. It cuts out a step, because the way it typically would work would be they say, ooh, I like this company. I'm going to reach out to them. They pick up the phone and call you. And then you have to get somebody back out to their property to re-inspect it, even though you were just there. So if it's possible for you, right before you put the door hanger on the door, do a quick glance of their property to give them a quick price. Write that price on the back of the door hanger or wherever you put the spot where you can write something on the door hanger. Put that price there and then say, hey, if you contact us in 24 hours, I'll take 10% off of that price. And then that makes the offer feel very real, it's very relevant, because they see the price and then they can see the savings that they're going to get from that. So not only have you saved yourself a step, but you're also implementing urgency to where they can't say, I'll get back to them in a few days. They have to reach out to you now. Now, the element that you have to remember is, now how do you get people to actually follow up on that? So once you've built the urgency in, you also have to remember that most people, I don't have the old door hanger up here, but as everybody knows, the typical call to action is call us today. The problem with that is not everybody has time to pick up the phone and talk to your team for 10 or 15 minutes to talk about their project, their property, to talk about your pricing or maybe any questions that you have for them. Not everybody has time for that at that very point in time when they grab the door hanger. So this is another element that keeps people from taking action now and puts you on the back foot. You don't get their contact information. You have no way to follow up with them. So your primary goal, and this is the general goal when it comes to marketing and lead generation, is how do you get that contact information as quickly as possible? Because without it, you don't have a lead. You don't have somebody that you can follow up with and progress that sale further. So the thing that you have to do, and I encourage everybody to start experimenting with this if you don't, or if you haven't already, but instead of call us, say text us today. Text us today is an incredibly easy call to action that everybody can do. It doesn't require a time commitment, and you can make this even easier with a QR code, because with QR codes you can program in that phone number and a message, so when they scan that QR code, it has that phone number dialed in, of course, and it has a message written, so you can also use this for analytics. So when they scan that QR code, it has a message like, hey, I saw your Love Your Lawn Again door hanger. I'm interested in talking more about that. Or I'm interested in signing up for that mowing service that you had mentioned on the door hanger. Now you know what door hanger they're reaching out to you about, and you can mark that down as a success and track the analytics between multiple door hangers or multiple marketing materials. So, there are things that you can do here to not only improve the messaging, the imagery, just the general appeal of your door hanger, but also to get more people taking action. Because the common problem is callless. Not everybody has time, so they say, I'll get back to it later. And as we were talking about, it's in a lot of instances they never do. So if you don't already have a texting software, I've got a product called EveryChat that you can absolutely use. It's a free trial, but if you do, this is not specific to EveryChat, so you can set this up today and get text us on your door hangers to start generating more leads and to get more people giving you call to actions. So these were 5 things that you can do on your door hanger to generate more results. To take that generic door hanger that typically just says, hey, we do mowing, we do lawn care, here's our phone number, please call us, and actually turn it into something that pulls on their strings, their pain points, and gets them saying, yes, I gotta contact this company today. And you can make it generic enough where you can still integrate the emotion, the sales aspect to it in here and still appeal to a broad audience. It doesn't have to be hyper-specific, but by doing this, by implementing at least a small variance of this where you have good pictures on it, you have a good messaging, you have testimonials, you implement the text us call to action, you're going to see benefit and higher ROI in your door hangers. So if you have any questions for me, let me know. I always love talking about this stuff. So if you have questions, shoot me a message. We can talk about this more. But hopefully these 5 tips you can implement and start seeing results, because I know the people who have done this are already seeing a big impact in it.